Income inequality in America. For many, America is described as a nation that promises success and wealth for everyone, a place that fosters the so-called American dream. This dream is centered around the concept of working hard and earning enough money to support a family, own a home, send children to college, and invest for retirement. The sad truth is that many people cannot achieve the American dream due to low income levels brought on by the unfair distribution of wealth. Most of the wealth in America is controlled by a tiny fraction of individuals. This inequality has become so pronounced that the richest people in the United States, the top 10%, now average more than 9 times as much income as the bottom 90%. And in the top 1%, they average over 40 times more income than the bottom 90% of Americans. But that is nothing in comparison to the top 0.1% of Americans who take in over 198 times the income of the bottom 90%. To break it down in simpler terms, it was revealed that the CEO of a company called Marathon Petroleum made $19.7 million annually. That was 935 times that of the median worker's pay, which was $21,034. The CEO of Whirlpool made $7.1 million annually. That was 365 times that of the average employee who made $19,906. Of course, we do not live in a utopia, and things will never be perfect. In fact, some level of inequality is widely seen as essential to create incentives for entrepreneurs to take risks. But there is growing concern in terms of what happens when the divide between the rich and poor becomes too wide, and economic growth only seems to benefit the wealthiest in society. The United States has more wealth inequality than any major developed country on Earth, and the gap between the richest and everyone else is wider than at any time since the 1920s. In the past, debate about the rising inequality rates mainly stemmed from a belief that it's just plain unfair. Until recently, when the source of the frustration shifted. Now, the concern is that an unequal distribution of wealth may have harmful effects on a range of outcomes valued by society. There is evidence that supports the idea that high inequality can dampen economic growth, slow social mobility, reduce education levels, and lead to increasing rates of crime and illness. Renowned economists have argued that income inequality could have been the cause of both the Great Depression and the Great Recession. The rich spend a smaller fraction of their income than the middle and lower class, so rising inequality may reduce consumer demand. When the income gap is narrowed, people with less money purchase more goods. This ultimately raises consumption expenditure because there is a larger market of consumers. With more consumers, companies are motivated to create more products. In 1970 to 1977, income inequality drastically dropped by 40%. At that same time, there was a rise in the number of applications for patents, while productivity and income also increased. Therefore, when income inequality fell, innovation and productivity rose. Overall, it has been found that on average, increases in the level of income inequality lead to lower transitional GDP per capita growth. Increases in the level of income inequality have a negative long-run effect on the level of GDP per capita. While a degree of inequality can act as a positive influence on economic growth in the short term, economists have found evidence of a negative correlation between long-term growth rates and sustained economic inequality.